The Indiana Fever players were saying, hey, they hate us. I think it's true, man. I think it's true. We got to dive into this ridiculous list. Before we do that, hit the like, hit the hype, hit the noti bell so y'all know when I drop it, hit the sub button. I highly appreciate it. And let's get it, all right? Now, we have to take a deep dive into what's going on with this list because people would think I'm just hating on players. Now, don't get me wrong. These players do deserve to be on the all-star list. But to see some of these players over Caitlin Clark, fam, let's just take a look at this, man. Player rank 11th. They put Caitlin Clark at 11th.
It is the most unspoken, gut-wrenching truth in professional sports, the jealousy of greatness. And right now in the WNBA, that jealousy has a name, and it is Caitlin Clark. This isn't just about who is better. This is a full-scale insurrection within the league's own ranks. A leaked ranking from Underdog has exposed a fracture that goes far deeper than basketball analytics. It reveals a concerted effort by the established WNBA media and a clique of veteran players to not just dethrone Caitlin Clark, but to ensure she never sits on the throne at all. They are trying to make sure Caitlin Clark doesn't start, doesn't get the recognition, and doesn't ascend to the top of the list she has already conquered. This is the story of a league protecting its own ego, a defensive scheme designed to stop a single player not just on the court, but in the narrative of the sport. The data is clear, the stats are irrefutable, yet the WNBA's own ranking system is gaslighting the entire world. We are going to break down the 4 most shocking examples of this hate, exposing the absurdity and the agenda. The immediate fallout of this leak is not just disbelief, it is a statistical indictment. Caitlin Clark is leading the WNBA in points and assists. She is the engine of the Indiana Fever, yet in this leaked player rankings she is placed at number 11. Let that sink in. The players and media polled said that 11 WNBA players are better than Caitlin Clark. The story is not that players like Paige Bueckers or Olivia Miles are good. The story is that Caitlin Clark is being shoved to the back of the line out of spite.
So you telling me that you have Paige, Sonya, Olivia Miles, you have all these players over Caitlin Clark, and they're nowhere to be found on the top 5 of points, nor top 5 in assists. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now, dog? Are you kidding me? This girl is literally a top scorer and a top facilitator, a top assist playmaker in the league. And you have 2 players, you have 11 players, 10, if you will, 10 players over her for the players. Come on, man.
This is the long-term consequence of this narrative control. If the league and its media can successfully label Caitlin Clark as merely the 11th best player, they can control her legacy. The numbers are not an opinion, they are a statistical fact. Caitlin Clark is number 3 in points and number 2 in assists. Meanwhile, players like Paige Bueckers and Olivia Miles, who the media and players rank ahead of her, are nowhere to be found on those league leaderboards. The ranking is not just wrong. It is a structural attempt to invalidate Caitlin Clark's dominance by ignoring the very definition of what makes a player valuable. The strategic consequence of this ranking is to create a narrative where Caitlin Clark is a product of hype, allowing the WNBA's old guard to claim that the real talent is elsewhere, effectively freezing her out of the best player conversation before it even begins. The psychology of this hate runs deep. The hate against Caitlin Clark is rooted in fear. The comparison to Ryan Howard is the perfect microcosm of why these players are so threatened by Caitlin Clark. Ryan Howard is a phenomenal two-way player, but she is not the engine of an offense. She is a complement. She gets to play off the ball and wait for open threes.
To the nuances, she's a great two-way player, but does she have to run an offense? Is she the engine to an offense? Absolutely not, man. Ryan Howard gets to sit around, take stand-still, wide-open threes, and just give Visine work sometimes. That's what Ryan Howard does. So, of course, I want her to be a great two-way player. She's supposed to be great on defense and the offensive side, and she don't have to necessarily run the offense like Caitlin has to. Come on, man. Come on, man. Now, I'm not trying to knock anybody, but I'm just giving y'all my logic of the game and giving y'all my logic of what I'm seeing. Ryan Howard is a great player. I think she's a fantastic two-way player, but come on, man. Caitlin Clark has more that she has to worry about than Ryan Howard. Now let's talk about Paige Bueckers, right?
This is the deep analytical breakdown. Ryan Howard does not have to handle full court pressure. She doesn't have to orchestrate the offense every single play. Caitlin Clark does. The narrative that Caitlin Clark is a defensive liability, while ignoring that she matches players like Olivia Miles in steals and blocks, is a willful ignorance. They are comparing a Ferrari to a dependable sedan and judging the Ferrari for needing premium gas. Caitlin Clark is asked to score, facilitate, and carry the weight of an entire franchise while being the most hunted player on the court. She is the one who makes her teammates better. Ryan Howard is a great player, but she is not tasked with the same burden. To say she is better than Caitlin Clark is to ignore the very structure of the game. It is a psychological manipulation of the audience to try and convince us that a role player is more valuable than a franchise cornerstone. The financial and franchise-altering impact of this narrative is what makes this so high stakes. By trying to tarnish Caitlin Clark, the WNBA risks alienating the very fanbase that is saving the league. The climax of this controversy is the comparison to players like Alicia Gray and Marina Mabrey. The leaked ranking says players like Alicia Gray are better than Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin is number 3 in points, number 2 in assists, and then number 3 in three-pointers made. Like, what are we talking about, man? Paige is not on this list at all. Not on this list at all. Not on this list at all. Caitlin Clark is dominating, dog. And y'all have her at 11. This is this is just mind-boggling, dog. This is crazy. Now let's talk about Alicia Gray, because they had Alicia Gray over her too. Caitlin wins in points, rebounds, assists. Alicia Gray takes it in steals. Great job. Caitlin wins in blocks. I think she might have it in field goal. Yeah, 43 for Caitlin. Caitlin wins with the 3-point percentage.
When you compare the stats, Caitlin Clark wipes the floor with these players in the most important categories: points, rebounds, and assists. The only metric players like Marina Mabrey beat her in is marginal efficiency stats, categories that are easier to achieve when you are a secondary option. The future of the WNBA is tied to Caitlin Clark's superstardom, yet the players are actively trying to cut her down. They are prioritizing their own fragile egos over the growth of the league. If they succeed in making Caitlin Clark seem ordinary, they destroy the financial engine that pays their salaries. This is the high-stakes climax, a league's internal struggle between the fear of being overshadowed and the simple fact that Caitlin Clark is the most valuable asset they have. They are willing to burn the house down just to keep the new queen from moving into the palace. The final verdict is this: the WNBA has a Caitlin Clark problem, but it is not the problem they think it is. The problem is not that she is overhyped. The problem is that she is so good that she has exposed the mediocrity of the old guard. She is the number 1 guard, period. No player on the list is doing what she does. The narrative is not about who is better, it is about who can survive the pressure. And right now, Caitlin Clark is thriving under a spotlight that would break anyone else, while her peers are busy trying to dim it from the shadows. But the question that remains, and the question you need to answer in the comments, is this: why are WNBA players so terrified of Caitlin Clark?